The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of NCTV, its officers and volunteers, or Cox Cable or Frontier Communications, their employees, or the town of Newington, its elected officials or employees. The producer of this program is solely responsible for its content.
Well, you know, here we are again. Can you believe it? We're back. I cannot believe that after last month's show, they're letting us do it again. Who would imagine? You know, we take it month to month, 30 days to 30 days here.
It's our fans keep demanding more of us. That's what it is.
They may demand more of you. They gave up on me a long time ago. It's August. It's August 6th. I'm Steve Parker. He's your mayor, Roy Zartarian. Mr. Z, how are you?
Good, Steve. And yourself?
Good. How's your summer going so far?
So far, so good. Just back from some time up in Vermont. Yeah. Not long enough, of course, but it was relaxing.
Do you have a place up there or friends or family?
There's a place I go to, a campsite, and it's very nice, right on Lake Champlain.
Do you do tent or do you have a...
It's a big tent.
Really?
It's a walk-around tent with a real cot. Except the pillow is not the same as my pillow, so I decided...
Don't get that? You don't get all that kind of treatment? It's not, what do they call glaming now? Glamorous camping, glamping?
No,
You're not doing glamping?
No, not like that.
Now, do you have a lot of people? Is that why you have such a large tent?
There are a lot. There are about 120 people up there.
No, I mean in your tent.
No, just me.
Okay, he said large enough to walk around. I thought, you know.
No, just me. That's the way I want it.
And how far up into Vermont do you go?
Right in the middle of Lake Champlain, about 25 miles from the Canadian border.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Except it was getting warm up there, too.
Mm-hmm. You pay your way on that. That's not us, right?
That's correct.
It's not a Newington tent, is it?
I pay on my own way.
And it's your own tent?
That's right.
Okay, it's nothing I'm going to see at the extravaganza.
No.
Hot dogs from Roy. Well, that's great. So how long were we up there?
I was up there for a little more than a week. I got a late start. It was supposed to be 2 weeks, but we had some issues with the town hall renovation that had to be put to bed.
Okay.
And once that was done, I finally got my act together, got packed, and got in the car and got on the road.
Now, do you get away from everything when you're up there? Do you turn off the phones?
Yeah, right.
You can't, right?
No.
You really can't because you're the mayor.
That's right.
Yeah. So you got to put up with it. What about it, though? I mean, is the summer kind of quiet as far as all the political stuff goes, or do you guys still have like regular meetings like the council, the board of ed?
Council keeps meeting, although we did cancel our 2nd July meeting, which was nice. May or may not cancel the 2nd August meeting. We'll see how the agenda goes, how the press of business goes. And we deserve some time off once in a while. I mean,
you should. Plus, it's paid. Oh, no, wait a minute. You guys are volunteers, right?
That's right. I read something very interesting about volunteers. It's the bona fide study. You can mention this when you talk about the need for volunteers here.
Oh, really? A bona fide study?
A bona fide study.
Really?
Volunteering can fight dementia.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah, I mean, it's granted it's one factor, obviously. But there have been studies that show that people who volunteer, along with other factors, have a lesser incidence of dementia.
Huh. So. Well, you know, so much of that stuff, it's just keeping your mind busy. And the fact, I've seen people that are having, you know, I know friends with post-traumatic stress and all that, and it's all about, you know, giving something back. You know what I mean? It's always about if you could spend some time helping somebody else along the way, that it helps a lot with that.
Oh, yes,
you know, especially with depression and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
This was done at Indiana University, and of course AARP picked up on it and wrote it up as promoting it. So.
Now that I've seen Bob Dylan on the front of AARP and Michael J. Fox,
I know.
all of us, you know.
You know, that's it.
You have to kind of accept it. And just think, it's AARP, and we started with Boy's Life. Man, that was the first magazine, and you can buy a gun in there.
I started with Playboy. I guess I should have mentioned that.
You jumped right over Life. Well, in a way, Playboy was Boy's Life. Never mind. He's leaving. You brought a guest with you tonight, or was this just the authorities?
I'm very happy to have with us tonight Scott Mangan, Chief of Newington EMS, which in its former existence was known as the Newington Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I remember when Joe Finnegan being involved in that in the very beginning.
He was a founding father of the Corps.
Yeah, I remember that. And of course, the old firehouse and the old Cadillac ambulance, and
wow, changed quite a bit.
And next year, Newington EMS will have been in existence for 50 years. Is that correct?
That is correct. In October 2019, we'll have been around 50 years.
All right.
Oh, please, I hope when I went to the thing at the Farmington Club that it was the 35th and not the 25th. I don't remember when you had that, but I helped Joe work on that event, and that seemed like a big,
It was.
Was that 35 or 25?
That was the 35th.
The 35th. Whew, that's good. Now, so the question that always seems to come to mind, will it ever be 24-hour coverage for Newington? Because that's all we always like to see Newington pull up.
We'd always love to see that. We talked to the town about 2 years ago about the possibility of doing it. There's a lot of work to be done with it. So we're still looking at feasibility. We have a partner in EMS here in town, American Medical Response, AMR. Right. You'll see them in the daytimes. Yep. We work well together with them. It's been a great relationship over the years. However, we have the vehicles, we have the resources. So the idea was, what if we use those resources during the day for 24 hours? And our contracts, both the AMR and our contracts with the town, expire end of towards 2019, June fiscal year. And that would be the time to re-entertain the idea of doing 24 hours. Again, what we look at is
quality of who's in the ambulance.
Well, it doesn't matter what name's on the ambulance. We're all held to state
No, but I mean as far as having enough of volunteers to be able to keep the quality that you have the rest of the time.
That is true.
Yep.
And the idea would be is the resources are right here in town. One of the things that we always struggle with is in the emergency end of the sector is that when you call 911, you expect to see an ambulance within a certain amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
And during the daytime, we can all, I think, agree that over the years, Newington has changed drastically in traffic. And in order to really get the crews closer to the town is to use the crews that are available in town.
Okay.
In order to do that, we got to look at what is a paramedic versus an EMT, what is basic level service versus paramedic level service. And we think we've got a program that would be very feasible for the town. To have 24 hours, we would still have to work with a commercial vendor
as backup or whatever,
because we'd be able to look at probably 2 ambulances in town. The average calls for this town usually never go above 2. Unfortunately, when there's a lot of activity in the town, you'll see us quite often go 3, 4 ambulances deep, which means you might have one ambulance on one call, second call comes in. And that's where the backup of the commercial provider works very well. We can get the first 2 ambulances to the scene quickly, and then the next call they're already staging for.
Mr. Mayor, have you ever had been driven in by these folks or anything?
Oh, yeah, I was a passenger during my period of incarceration by the medical profession.
I know. I've had, unfortunately, I've had you guys at my house too many times, but thank God.
Yeah, best ride ever.
Well, thank you.
Now, one of the other things that also comes up, and again, and maybe the mayor might have the answer for this too, how does it work as far as your insurance goes? Because I know people are always saying, well, I got a bill from so-and-so, but I thought it was such and such. Maybe they thought it was Newington, but they got it from, you said EMR? Is that the other group?
Well, AMR.
AMR.
If it was a daytime response, you would get a bill directly from AMR, American Medical Response. If it's our crews and AMR, like we do utilize AMR paramedics. So if it's a higher level type of call, paramedic will ride in with us on our vehicles.
Okay.
What you'll do is you'll get one bill, and this was an arrangement that was made years ago. You get one bill from us that also covers the paramedic.
Okay. So even though it's volunteer, we still pay you to come. So it's not like that's part of it. I should expect a bill from Newington, even though I don't get a bill from the fire department. Right. I get a bill from ambulance.
I think we should note that Newington EMS is pretty much self-supporting. Is that correct?
Really?
That is correct. The town does support us with a building, which we greatly appreciate. We do utilize the mechanic services, but we reimburse the town for their time and parts. So it gives us the rates of local, and the mechanics know our trucks versus sending them out to different areas. So that's been a great help for us. We purchase fuel at the town's rates.
Okay.
So we do get some discounts realized from that, which is of a great help. But the biggest expenses are the vehicles themselves. And there was a time, some towns years ago would fund purchasing ambulances for their ambulance associations. Ours has always been a private association with agreements with the town. So when you see the vehicles right now, they're purchased through reimbursements of the insurance and the cost per call.
What was the question? Oh, I'm sorry. You're volunteers. Is anybody, are all of our guys and women volunteers? Are any paid staff with Newington?
Well, what happens with the volunteers, and we've seen it, the fire departments all over the country are seeing the same issues, is that getting a volunteer all the time is very difficult. So what we do to guarantee service is we do use a staffing service. Okay. And that's usually about one shift a week. We have some weeks that we have 2 ambulance crews on during our time periods, and there's a few times where like someone will call out sick, they'll get injured, and trying to find a volunteer.
So the person that covers for us isn't one of our volunteers. In other words, we don't have any paid volunteers.
Correct.
Okay, because I just know that's been a discussion in the past.
If there is an opening, or rather, what some volunteer services will do is actually just say, we're out of service for the night. And
not plug the holes.
Not plug the holes. We elected about 3 years ago to look at that and say, we want to be able to plug the holes, but we don't want that to be the permanent. So
sometimes we see both of you guys pull up.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have a call, and all of a sudden, like at night maybe, and we'll see, a couple of ambulances show up, and I don't know, you guys get out and flip a coin, or you duke it out in the middle of the road?
No, actually, what you're seeing at that time is at nighttime, or we'll say 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., or 24 hours on the weekend, you'll see one of our vehicles normally. You might see in a Ford Expedition type vehicle, a Tahoe type vehicle. That is the paramedic that's coming to do the analysis to determine if it's a higher level call. If you see a second truck or an ambulance, looks like a van normally, that's also the paramedic, but they're traveling with a partner. And usually what happens is we have, since the mid-'80s, had paramedics stationed in town when we're in service. And they run in like a police cruiser type vehicle to the call. That's the first one you may see. If we're on our first calls transporting and we take that paramedic with us, our next ambulance will come, but they're going to come in with a paramedic level ambulance. And one of their personnel, the paramedic, will jump, as you said, they'll get on board with us and transport. So it's very common. Newington's very fortunate. Our first responders, which is the first tier of EMS, is the police department. When you look at the amount of districts on the road, the coverages that we get, they go to the scene first. Sometimes we beat them there, but we're dispatched almost simultaneously. And if you think about maybe a house down by Kelsey Street, we're coming from the center of town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a district probably in the south end, 2 districts a lot of times in the south end of town. They're emergency medical responders. So they do the basic first aid, they do life defibrillation, they have Narcan for overdoses. So Newington, like I said, has been very fortunate to have the police department as first responders. Then you'll see either the ambulance or the paramedic pull up next. So very common, 4 or 5 vehicles definitely at the scene is very common.
What about average response time?
Okay, from Newington Center, we usually can make it to any area. We're averaging about 7 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
And even I think when you look at all the records, we're even seeing that during the daytime coverage. So
and how many calls a year, ballpark?
Okay, for like last year, there was 1,700 calls dispatched that we took, but there was closer to 4,100 calls in the town of Newington. So when you take the daytime calls and bring it up, there's about just over, and average has been that way for the last 5 to 6 years. Roughly around 4,000 calls for ambulance assistance.
I get your monthly reports, and
out of that
doesn't seem to vary too much from month to month.
No, it's very, very common.
You know, 100. Well, in June, for example, we had 190 emergency calls dispatched, and 159 of those by your on-duty crew.
Right.
So. Now, how are you doing as far as volunteers go? Are you always looking, or what's involved?
We're always looking.
So what's involved? You have to be at least 18?
How does somebody join up?
Okay. To join up, what we look for is the entry level as emergency medical technician. That's a program that's run numerous areas around Harford County, which we're fortunate on that aspect because there's a lot of training classes. We also offer them at our service. Basically, the commitment for that is usually anywhere from 3 months to 6 months of training. And that all depends on whether they meet 3 nights a week or do like once a week or every other week. And that's it's called Emergency Medical Technician. It's 180 hours of classroom time. And then there's the actual patient contact time. So 180 hours is going to be about what's required by the state for training. And depending on the classes, I mean, some classes will run every night of the week. Like I said, anywhere from 3 to 6 months, you get your EMT certification with the state. Average cost for that is about $1,000 per student. We offer it for a little bit less using our instructors, but when you look in average cost for becoming an EMT for 3 to 6 months. So that's what we look for. Obviously, if you're an EMT, we'd love to have you come on down and talk to us. But most people start this. We do get a lot of students. One of the requirements for a lot of medical schools is to get patient contacts. And that's been very favorable for us because we'll get a lot of med students who come in with their EMT, and they'll ride with us for their time, usually about 4 years in school. And then once they start getting ER time and stuff like that, they do leave.
Because they want them to have a certain amount of hours while they're going to school.
They want their patient contact hours, and they like the way that helping the community works. So that's what it takes just to start.
Now, is there a problem, like I know there was a problem for a while, but I guess we don't have it anymore, as far as someone, could it be a paid work for an ambulance company, but also live in Newington and be able to volunteer for Newington also? Can you do that?
That is true. And about half of our members have either currently working or have worked for commercial services such as AMR, Hunters, ASM, Aetna, AMLs. So we still have an active list of people that do this during the daytime as their paid job, and then they come and help us at night because they like that. They like helping people. They like the more community-oriented end of the service.
Now, do you do, Roy, do they do things for the town, like give emergency classes and stuff to our citizens here, like CPR and stuff like that?
There are some public classes, aren't there? Isn't there one, too, for pet first aid?
Yes, we offer about every 3 months we do pet first aid.
Pay attention.
Do what?
Pet first aid.
What's that?
First aid for your pet.
First aid for your pets.
You know I had to ask.
Yes.
Come on. We need a checkup, okay? Come on over here. You want to come out? They're doing pet first aid. I almost hit your head. Come here. Come on. Then we have, you think it's the doctor, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Okay, what he's going to do, say hi to Scott, okay? Yeah, okay. Well, no, you got to kiss him. So what do you do for pet? You teach people how to take care of their pets?
Well, in emergencies, we'll even teach, during the class, they actually teach CPR and rescue breathing for pets.
Are you ready?
So.
No. What now? So how would you do it? You just blow lightly into their nose, or how is it being done on animals now?
Well, pretty much exactly. The dogs are a lot easier. For that, and we do teach it, and it's more of what to do if your dog has an emergency. You know, they come in from outside. They might have a cut, and how do you do basic first aid? Because let's face it, the pets are our family members.
Yeah, right. That's wonderful.
So we offer that every 3 months through our training.
Oh, I got to come to that.
We do CPR for adults, cardiac adult pulmonary resuscitation classes. We also do quite a few businesses in town will contact us for those classes too.
You ever do chamber?
Chamber, a few of the members. I don't think we've done a Chamber of Commerce class, but
well, maybe that.
We would
I know
love
Bob,
to do that.
Bob Newbold does that.
The stroke.
Yeah, well, he also does a thing where he does. They have that 7 a.m. network.
Yeah,
correct.
Every Wednesday, maybe you could do something over there.
Yeah.
Now, what is so how do I just go to you to sign up, or what do I do?
Well, on our website, newingtonems.com, there's all types of links to look at the classes, and talks about when the classes are being held, what the costs are, if there's any costs incurred, and when the classes, the actual dates and times. And like I said, we kind of rotate every 3rd month. We do a different topic. But CPR, first aid classes, we do babysitting classes. They always seem to come up towards the end of the school year.
Yep.
We do certified babysitting. I'm trying to think of some of the other great applications we've had with the Corps. But we're always open to different ideas. We started doing the pet one about 1.5 years ago. We weren't sure how that was going to.
People probably love it.
We overfill the class almost
Really?
every time,
I'm
which
not
is
surprised.
great.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk to. Maybe we could talk. I'm on the board of the Connecticut Humane Society. Maybe we could talk about doing something up there, because I think that might be worth looking at or letting them know about.
Veterinarians involved in the pet first aid?
Not normally, but I mean sometimes they'll come and take the classes.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. How many times, there's certain kinds of chocolates that are bad for dogs, and there's certain ones that don't freak out, but there's certain ones that you got to know about these things. Now, what about when your classes do fill up? Do you automatically just say our next one's coming up?
Well,
3 months from
sometimes
now?
that, or we'll try to schedule, depending on the class, we'll try to schedule a second class.
Good. Good.
A lot of times for some of the CPR and first aid, American Red Cross, American Heart, we'll bring in more instructors. With the pet class, it's a little more difficult to get the contact that we need.
Now, when we go back, I understand the CPR has changed. Has it gone back to breathing and chest, or is it still just chest compressions, or what is it?
What they've done is they've broken it down into types, like the CPR that we have to do still incurs the counting and all that stuff. But what you might see is a lot of the first responder or citizen CPR. They were actually teaching people to do just compressions because everybody doesn't want to do the mouth air. And studies have shown that actually doing just the compressions, they're seeing a greater survival rate because what's happening is people are
more consistent.
Very consistent doing that. So the American Heart always updates that. And the best thing I can say is check online, American Heart Association, for the current recommendations, guidelines. But we offer anything from the basic, I want to know about the CPR, what to do in emergency, to I'm working in a doctor's office, so they have to have the next level. So we do CPR for the professional rescuer. And that will be breathing and all that. And everybody now, which I think is the greatest thing that's been implemented, and Newington's fortunate, we've got a few of them right here in Town Hall, at the sports complexes, the pools, is defibrillation.
Yes.
Yeah,
defibrillation is what's going to save someone, no doubt about it. So the idea is to get people out there not afraid to do CPR, to react properly. Again, it's something that if you haven't been there, the first time, it's your brain's going to kind of like, what do I do next? Even if you've been trained. So doing this
have you
every
done
year.
It on somebody in a real life situation?
Yes. So
are they still with us?
A few of them, yes.
But you know, it's interesting because I think I did it years ago, and I got to get recertified because it was a couple of lifetimes ago. But I think one of the things, the problem that people have, is sometimes they stay within themselves, and if it's what I used to be told is always go over and say, I know CPR,
right,
just to see if there's somebody there, because otherwise people stand around and sometimes they think, oh, somebody else will, but it doesn't hurt to have more people involved.
Right, and the biggest thing is public awareness, whether it's CPR, someone passed out, traffic accident. Biggest thing is you want to be safe yourself, and they'll teach you that. That's the first order, no matter who you are, is your safety. Mm-hmm. And they'll teach you that in the classes. And then what do you do to react? Dial 911. What's good about 911 is you're linked in.
Yeah.
As soon as you get the basic information,
somebody can talk you through it.
They're going to talk you through instructions, even if you think you're not going to remember it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll get you working on that person quickly.
Yeah, it is something where you really, it can make such a difference. And how much do you feel like, oh geez, I wish I took that course if somebody drops in front of you? You know, and if it's something where this question again comes up, do you think some people are hesitant to get involved because of liability? And what is it, the Good Samaritan Act?
Right.
Or what is any of that?
As if you were to come up to someone yourself, you are covered by what's called Good Samaritan.
Okay.
And really what it is it encourages people to take action.
Okay.
And that's what we really want you to do. What can you do to get them through those first few minutes until a first responder? The Newington Police Department comes in as the first responder. If it happens to be the ambulance is closer, we get there. Minutes are critical in some cases. And sometimes it's just a matter of comforting someone that's having an issue. Maybe they tripped and they fell at the crosswalk.
Yep. And the police are great that way too.
Right.
If they're waiting
safe?
for you,
pull them into safety.
Yep. Yep.
Obviously, we don't want to move people, but if they're in the traffic zone, what can you do to help them get through this abnormal time? Because anytime anyone's injured, it is abnormal for them. And sometimes just having a friendly face to, like you said, hi, I know CPR, I know first aid. Is there anything I can do? Obviously, if they're talking back to you, we don't need CPR, but you're really giving them the comfort during that time period, because that 1 to 2 minutes for the first responder to come up, for the ambulance to get there, will seem like an eternity.
If you're just tuning in, we're a little bit into the program, and I want to just remind you, and I forget about this from time to time. If you do want to call in with a question, feel free. We've got people in the master control that'll take your questions. Believe me, from a technical standpoint, it's much easier if you call in or text in. We do have a text, 305-9801. This is our text phone here at Channel 14, 860-305-9801. That's available all the time. Even if you don't text us during the show, it's available 24/7. We're always checking it, 860-305-9801. And I think I have something back here from somebody else. And we will get them, and then we just basically bring them up here on the show. But if you'd like to call in and ask a question, they can pass it in for Master Control. And this is Scott Mangan, and he has all kinds of information to give you. If you do have a question, he should have the answers, we hope. 860-667-5814 is our phone number here. That's our text number that you see on the screen. But you can also call us straight on the phone at 860-667-5814. Ask a question. They'll pass the question along to us. It just seems to be a lot more to the point when we do that, and especially if it's something as basic as some sort of medical question. He's not a doctor, but if he can't give you the answer, he might be able to point you in the right direction.
But he does play one on television.
Yeah, he's playing one on TV. But it is amazing when you see this stuff and how it's always changing. Let's say that you were certified with CPR. How many years does that certification last? Or do you send a notice to say, hey, by the way, it's changed now, come back?
Well,
that's more American Red Cross, right?
Right. Yeah. The cards will tell you some programs are 1 year, and some programs are 2 years. If you're not doing this a lot, I would recommend the 1 year, even if it does say you have 2 years. And because it's going to get you all the current information. Like you said earlier, Steve, it's changed. At one time, we did like so many seconds of breathing. Then we did compressions.
And remember,
then
baby, are you all right? Baby, questions to ask.
Right. Then you went and made a call to the dispatcher, 911. Now it's like you call, start compressions, try to get someone else in there. And that's all based on studies that the American Heart Association and Red Cross do. So doing it every year isn't such a bad idea.
And it doesn't cost.
And it's very minimal cost.
Okay,
and it keeps you up to date on what's going on, the trends.
Now, have you taken it, Mayor Z?
I've taken CPR through my involvement with the CERT team.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And how do you folks work with the CERT team?
We deal with them mostly at community events.
And let's tell people what CERT is.
Community Emergency Response Team.
Okay, excuse me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a volunteer organization really under the ultimate direction of the Emergency Management Director, who is also the fire chief in Newington's case, Chris Schroeder.
Yep.
And respond to disaster situations. We don't just show up. We wait until we're activated and do what we're told. So primarily operating shelters. That's where a lot of emphasis and training has been. So.
Okay, so if I wanted, let's say I have an office, and how many people would I need in my office to have somebody from Red Cross come and train my entire office how to do CPR?
Well, we'll do anything from 2 or 3 people up to 12, 15, or 20 people.
So will you folks come out under the umbrella of Red Cross?
Well, usually we use American Heart or Red Cross, either one, depending who the instructors are. And we'll arrange it for you. We'll set it all up. It's very easy. And we like to see a minimum of people, but we can do anything from a 4-hour class to a full staff type class. There are some out there that are just awareness level, and those can usually be done in a few hours, but generally it's about 3 to 4 hours. If you want a full certification, it might be 2 evenings, might be a full day. And our people, we've got instructors that are members that can actually go out and help you set those classes up. Easiest way to contact us on that is the website.
Okay, and what's the website?
NewingtonEMS.com.
All right, okay. I know it, I just want to make sure
that's all right. Or you can
When did you go to Newington EMS?
That's been about 4 or 5 years now. And it was the better to reflect when we started out as Newington Volunteer Ambulance and First Aid Squad.
Okay.
And over the years it became Newington Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Okay.
When we looked at all the work we do, while the primary goal is seeing that truck show up in front of a house or whatever, what we've been talking about is more involvement with community, more involvement with teaching people what to do, what they can do to help out. Obviously, we look for volunteers that can help on a staff type role doing EMS. But we also have some people that don't do EMS but support us in the ranks, auxiliary type members or maybe retired members. So we spend a lot of time training people, whether it's for doing EMS work. And emergency medical services is more of the current terminology out there for a lot of programs. And for us, it just tells more of the story. We're not just the ambulance. We're supplying emergency medical services to teach and prepare people.
I was all excited because I thought we were having Eastern Mountain Sports on. No, emergency medical, okay.
Yes.
And again, if I want more information as far as all your different courses, I just go to newingtonems.com.
That's the easiest.
And you go out to the schools, you talk to the kids during the school year?
We do a lot of school. We just did some libraries. We've been to some library programs. We even went out to West Hartford Science Center. They've been working with us for years, our people that worked over there. So we try to focus on the town, but again, we look at a resource such as that and have helped them there. So it's reaching out. And the biggest thing is, especially with the school system, they're familiar with the firemen, but like your dog, you want him to come and see me, but he's thinking doctor's office. There's that guy that
you want to go on a ride with
children are the same way.
Oh boy,
they see us and we're the bad guys.
Yeah, sure.
So,
but you also do, you're out at events so people can see it. Like you do the touch a truck stuff and everything, right?
And that's been great for us because a lot of the children come up, and so what we run into with some calls is they're like, hey, we saw you at this or we saw that. So it's like, okay, so it's not scary. Why don't you come on board and with your parent
and you've got a new rig now too.
New ambulance, which has been exciting.
Yeah. Are you coming out tomorrow night? Are you going to be at the National Night Out?
We should be available.
Okay, over at Mill
obviously,
Pond?
one of the problems we have is just running the calls.
Yeah,
What's
sure.
happened lately is we'd love to be fully front and center, but sometimes we have to go and manage some calls and leave this area. But I'll try to make sure we can get someone down there.
That'd be nice. I mean, it is a big event. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. Well, I think, any other questions?
No, I think that was it. And, well, you did a walk-around job during the extravaganza, I recall. You had your people on.
Yeah, we walk around. We like to be present.
You know, because the heat can get to people.
Yes.
And you would be right there if it happened.
And this is one of those weeks.
Oh, is it ever? That's why I opted for casual tonight. No
I like it. It looks good.
No necktie tonight. It's too warm.
No bow tie tonight either.
No bow tie. I didn't even bring a fountain pen.
Oh, God.
Just a
well,
pencil.
thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate you coming in.
Steve.
Thank
Means
you.
a lot.
Mayor, thank you.
Always good to see you.
And like I said, if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to email us, call us.
Oh, what's the email?
At our front room. Again, it would be if you go to newingtonems.com.
Yep.
There's a link where you can contact us.
Okay, beautiful.
In our office number, if you want to call the office and leave messages, 860-667-5825. That's our business line.
And how many volunteers do you have now? What are the age ranges?
Okay, age ranges. We actually take members when they're 17.
Okay.
They have to become 18 to actually write the reports, but they start with us at 17. And upwards, let's see, don't want to date myself, but I think our oldest member is around 55.
Okay.
They're really, as long as they are healthy and active, there's no reason, as long as they maintain their CPR and EMT.
Can people help out over there even if it's some secondary fashion? Let's say, for instance, there's people around town that would like to help out, maybe maintain your building. Maybe, is that all stuff you do on your own? Or could, if Mrs. Sosha's out there right now watching and she said, gee, I'd like to come in and cook a meal for you or something.
Oh, we'd love that.
People like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
yes, there's a few ways they can do it. If they want to do it one time, we can arrange for that. We also do offer sometimes for those that want to explore the job a little more. A ride-along.
Oh, good.
And we also have an auxiliary membership, and that's people that do not actually ride on the ambulance. So they might have a specialty, like if you have someone that just loves to wash and wax vehicles.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful.
We got a place for them. If they like to do flower gardens, we got a place. You can come and volunteer and be part of us. It really is a volunteer association. You had asked. We have 40 regular members that are all volunteer. And right now in our ranks, we have 12 new members. They'll go through a probationary process for about 3 to 6 months that are riding with us for a total of about 52.
Okay. And how many are you looking for? How many more can you use?
I could definitely use another 20.
Really? Really? So there's a lot of work out there. And I would imagine, excuse me, I'm just trying to, cover a couple of things, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Is this good where I would imagine for kids and stuff maybe that need some sort of direction, this can be a good area for them to start in too, right?
Yes.
Role models, mentoring, and that kind of thing?
Yes, and that's why we like the 17-year-olds. It used to be in high school, they started taking interest in it. And we actually used to have a good relationship with one of the teachers that worked there who retired. And he would actually almost recruit members for us. So we still have a good relationship with the school system, but we don't have our insider anymore. But again, it's something that a lot of people take a CPR class, and they maybe in high school or at a church, and they get a little bit of interest, and there's like, hey, maybe I want to try this and try that. So there's a lot of things we can do to help, and like you said, everybody sees us when it's time, but we're there all the time. And again, it's a great way to volunteer.
What age, if I want to, have my son or daughter ride along? What age when they can ride along?
We like to see them over 16.
Okay.
But again, definitely call.
Yeah, because I know sometimes there's some kids that have such an interest in it, even at a very young age. Yeah. And I would imagine it starts by just going down and maybe spending a little time with you folks and find out what's involved.
Yeah, I mean, the fire department, they have their programs, and the kids will always kind of gravitate towards the fire trucks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's how they get their interest. Yeah. And sometimes for us, just walking up to us in the park, seeing us at the park, talking, very commonly we might be out to dinner somewhere, and someone will come up and say, hey, my son or daughter's got a question. We're always glad, as long as we're not going to a call. Yeah. But again, give us an email, give us a jingle, and we'll definitely return your call or emails and get back to anybody that's got an interest or wants to learn anything more about what is EMS today.
EMS, Newington EMS, newingtonems.com is the website. You got a Facebook page too, I imagine?
Correct.
Right? Okay, so check them out, contact them, and maybe it's right for you, or maybe there's a young person. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm 80. There's a young person out there watching. But maybe you've got somebody who needs a little direction in their life, and newingtonems.com, and just say, hey, I saw Scott on TV, and he said I can just come by here and I can learn it all, and I'll be, you know. But it is great what you've been doing. Please give my best to Joe Finnegan and anybody else who remembers me from back in the day. Thanks again, Scott. Appreciate it. Now, if you hang right here, somebody's going to come in with a stretcher.
Okay.
Somebody backstage or in the master control room, can we pull the wires out of Scott? Because the mayor and I have a couple of other things that we've got to cover before the program.
Mark Janey waiting on the line to tell us about the big event coming up at the Sangerbund toward the end of the month.
All right, Mark on the phone? How do you know he's on the line?
Because I saw it on the screen.
Somebody's on the... All right. Well, let's start talking about it.
I'm hearing something coming.
Okay, no, he's not on hold right now. So let's talk about it, because you're the Burgermeister, or what are you?
I'm the Burgermeister, and of course we have to talk about it. And I know one of the dates is the 24th, I think, August 24th.
Yeah, and I think the 25th also.
Probably start Friday, the 23rd, 24th, 25th. The Sangerbund on North Mountain Road.
It's a great party.
Biannual beer fest every 2 years. I'm guessing the admission is going to be $10 a person. The Burgermeister right here on Saturday afternoon taps the keg.
Yeah, Scott, be ready. They're going to be drinking a lot of beer this weekend. Just wait out on North Mountain Road as they fall over. Take care. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Burgermeister has to tap the keg.
So you're the Burgermeister?
Yeah.
I thought that was something with the fast food places.
Oh no, this is quite an important function of the office. And is one of the reasons I really applied myself during the campaign once I heard the Burgermeister.
I want to be the mayor.
That's right.
So whoever the mayor is gets to be the Burgermeister. They tap the keg.
You have to tap that keg, you have to sample it, and declare dieses Bier ist gut.
Dieses Bier ist gut.
Yes.
It's gut.
Yes,
now, have you got some German in you? Zartarian?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
No. As a matter of fact, I just had some genealogy work done on me through DNA.
Oh, how did it go?
Oh, it was pretty cool.
Yeah?
It shows where the ancestors came from out of the Mideast.
Were there surprises?
Out of the Caucasus. The only surprise was a less than 1% North African in me, but they say that could be just random jitter or whatever.
Could have been a party, late at night.
Yeah, I've got DNA matches all over Europe.
Yeah.
Denmark down to Sicily. And I'm figuring there must have been a Randy Crusader in the background somewhere.
Randy Crusader. Oh, God, I like that.
But, yeah, it's fascinating. I was able to get my own done, and an uncle, my mother's brother, while he was still alive, we got a sample from him and shipped that off to get it tested. So,
yeah, it is amazing. I know my girl Angela heard.
Absolutely fascinating. The science still boggles my mind. Yeah. I still don't understand about 90% of it, so I just read the results and accept it that it's valid what they're saying.
Now, did you get anything? Did he send anything over to you? Did Mark send anything?
No.
I had some notes.
He sent it to you, I thought.
No, I sent a note out to him just seeing if he could get us some stuff because I told him there may be some issues. But it is great. I went a couple of years ago. Now, you pay the cover charge to get in.
Yeah.
Does that give you any beer?
I think you have to buy tickets after that.
Okay.
But it's worth it.
All right. I'm just trying to see if he sent anything last minute because I had sent him a note just in case.
While you're looking at that,
Yes.
let's talk about tomorrow night, which of course doesn't count if you're not watching live, but it's the
you got the info on it?
National Night Out.
Yes.
Yeah, over at Mill Pond Park from 5 to 8 p.m. with the Newington Police Department in conjunction with Parks and Recreation. There's going to be free food, tiki water slide, Dunk-A-Cop.
Huh?
Dunk-A-Cop.
Dunk-A-Cop.
Not Dunk-A-Donut, Dunk-A-Cop.
Dunk-A-Cop. I like that.
The Meltdown, whatever that is, Hippo Challenge, a walking magician and a balloon artist, cornhole games, canine demonstration. And the reason for it is to continue to build the relationship between the community and the Newington Police Department. And I think right now, to tell you the truth, there's a pretty darn good relationship between the police and the community.
Yeah.
You see things on Facebook. Oh, this officer stopped. He talked to my kids. It was so good.
Yep.
Halloween, they were out dealing with, interacting with the trick-or-treaters. You see glowing reports like that. And
and they're really nice. And I will say, my nephew, Mike Morgan's been there. I think, congratulations, Mike, 20 years with the Newington PD.
Wow.
I can't believe how fast that's gone by. But I will say, having grown up in town, and it's not, you do notice, and I think it's necessary because Newington's looking for officers. They always are. I mean, more now probably. It's harder now because of all the negativity in the news. A lot of people aren't running out to become police officers.
People are not drawn to the to the field anymore.
And Newington has high standards. And yes, there's good compensation, but they're not gonna fudge it all. They're gonna keep it at that level.
That's right.
And I understand that Jamie DeSimone, who does a lot of community stuff, is also working harder than she's ever worked before because they are looking for more officers.
Yeah.
And I spoke to her, and she sent us a note just to make sure that we were up to speed on everything. But she even said, I mean, it was difficult. You have to pull a night together like tomorrow night. It's a massive undertaking for everybody.
Yep.
And they're doing it in all the towns. I know my other nephew, Steve Morgan, they got it going on in Rocky Hill. Newington's is 5 to 8, I think, right?
Yes, 5 to 8. Mill Pond Park.
I tell you, have you been to many things this year over there? What a great summer this has been for Mill Pond.
Well, we had Motorcycle Madness.
Yep.
And we had the Extravaganza.
Oh, and the Thursday night concerts are great.
And the concerts. There's the dedication of the doggy water fountain.
Oh, and that is great.
Yes.
Abby, you want to go get a sip? Try it out. Yeah, that's a beautiful piece that they put in. Of course, the new pavilion.
Yes, that's at Churchill.
Yep, we had the Morgan family, the triplets, had their birthday party over there, and the whole family was over there, and it was by far one of the most incredible parties we've ever had. It's just up on that hill a little bit, so you get a bit of a breeze.
Yep.
Really nice.
Unfortunately, because of the weather, we couldn't have the ribbon cutting on Saturday for it.
Oh.
The grand opening.
Oh, you mean there was a grand opening?
There was going to be.
This past Saturday?
This past Saturday, but the weather got in the way. Mm-hmm. So.
How are our swimming pools doing this year? Are they up to snuff? I mean,
they're still holding water to some extent.
Yep. And we should have. I should have checked with. Bill DeMayo, but we're probably having a dog swim again, I would think, too.
I would hope so.
They do that right before they close the park.
Yeah, toward the end of the month.
Yeah, dog swim. Yeah.
Yeah, I take these two moronic poodles to whom I am godfather over.
Oh, really?
Yes. One loves the water, the other just clings to me.
Really? Well, it is something we're finding that as long as people are, picking up after their dogs, this is a very, very dog-friendly town. And I know I also want to mention I am on the board of the Connecticut Humane Society, and we do have our Clear the Shelters coming up, and that'll be on the 18th August 18th, and that's a national program, all driven by NBC, and they do it in all the NBC markets around the country, I believe, and that means there's one day, only one day, that Saturday, and you can't hold pets or anything else, but it's one day where you can go in, and the price for a pet, and don't quote me, but I can remember it, I want to say around $50, but you'd have to check. I could be wrong on that. I don't know what it is this year, but if it's so far below our regular cost, it's ridiculous. Every shelter takes a beating. We really do financially. We all get hit really hard because the amount of money it costs to bring in an animal and do a rescue and then rehabilitate and ship and everything else can be very expensive. Not this one day, because the goal is to clear them, to make sure they are empty at the end of the day. So that'll be August 18th. Shelters all over the state, all over the country, and you can check ours out at cthumane.org. But it's great. But please understand, they can't hold any animals, and the price will not be the same on Sunday. It's one day, and you're going to probably have to wait for a long time. People start lining up hours in advance because they want to get the puppies and stuff and all that. And so get up there early. Check it out, cthumane.org, and they'll help you out. That's August 18th. What else you got?
Well, we got a primary coming up.
Really? The 14th?
The August 14th.
Yep.
And it is open to members, voters who are affiliated with a political party. And you vote within the primary of your own party. If you are not registered now, you have until August 9th to get registered to participate in the August 14th primary. Who are the candidates? Go to the town website, newingtonct.gov. Go to the elections page, and there'll be links to the sample ballots. Or you can be bored to tears listening to me read the names right now if we're trying to kill time. But
we do have, and some really nice people running too. I'll say, people that I've seen coming around the neighborhood, and I had one of the fellows that was running, really nice guy, and I think that's the most important thing is if you're home, if you're home and you have a few minutes, it's good to chat because it gives you a good sense of what the candidate's all about as a person, not just what their beliefs are as far as government and everything else goes, but you can get a good sense of who they are as a person. And I think in today's world, we've had so much battling back and forth between the two parties. Now more than ever, really need to take a look at the people that are running. And I, like I say, a fellow that I never saw before was in my driveway. I backed over once when I found out what party he was in. No, no, he was walking, and I was leaving, and he couldn't have been nicer. So much so that I spent a few minutes in the driveway talking to him. And I don't think it's going to really be easy for anybody this year, but it always helps a lot to take the time. And I know you've always done that, even in your condition. You've gotten you've gotten a golf cart around town from time to time.
I went from golf cart to electric scooter.
Well, I had a laugh because I got this. I don't know what I got. It was something, I don't know if it was on Facebook or what. And it was you in the golf cart, and you were being driven. You had a chauffeur in the golf cart. And I'm looking, and I realized this picture was taken from my front door. Going, wait a minute, that car across the street. So I knew your chauffeur, and I think he felt safe that the dogs wouldn't attack him. But it is going to be tough. What other concerns? How are we doing with the town hall? Are we?
The town hall. Well, we're doing pretty well on that.
Good.
A couple of the bid packages have already gone out. We're looking at the rest of the bids going out on September 24th. And getting the results in on October 5th. And once we get that, we've got a few days to put numbers together and looking at getting started, breaking ground, getting to work at long last between October 15th and 19th.
Okay.
Go as far as we can until we've got to shut down for the winter and then pick up again in the spring. There's been a lot of work behind the scenes on arranging for staging area on Garfield Street where the school bus garage
looks beautiful over there. Oh,
that's going to be used for staging.
Nice.
We've pretty much nailed down relocation arrangements for the buses.
Great. Are they going to have another building at some point in time, or?
we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Because I know the covers, even more so than the heat, just to keep the stuff off the buses. And only because I helped out there for a few weeks, and I went over for one storm to Newington High to clean off that many buses with those big snow rakes.
Yeah.
God bless them. I said, I did it once, never again. That's a lot of work, so hopefully some coverage will help.
We've got that squared away.
Yep.
We've got the Transition Academy relocation for 2 years.
Good.
Squared away. That there were some challenges there.
And where's that going to be going?
Looks like now in a modular building by the senior center.
Okay. And now the old center school, is that where we have offices now too?
Whatever. I call it the personnel department, but there's some fancy name I can never remember. They're over there now.
Yep.
Whether they stay there or after the new building is complete, I don't know yet.
What about our library? Is that going to pretty much stay the way it is?
Library lot. There's going to be a new lot for the library, and we just got the bids on that, and construction on that'll start. That'll be a replacement for the current front lot of the town hall, which is going to be the site of the new town hall.
All right.
So
we got to move it. I just got the heads up.
Yes,
real quick, I think our next show, we're going to do the second Monday, or are we going to do the Tuesday after the first Monday?
I don't know. I think I'd rather do the Tuesday after the first Monday.
Okay, Labor Day, and then we'll come back and we'll do it on Tuesday after Labor Day. Unless, keep an eye on 14. If anything changes as far as the date goes, we'll let you know. That's going to do it for this edition of Talk to the Mayor for August. I'm Steve Parker. He's your Mayor, Roy Z.
And nice seeing you again. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yep.